speaking English?
Yes, we still have
two more people.
but we still have time, I think.
Okay, okay. But you are there. Guide me. Okay.
Is this your first time in Oxford? It's a rival company. Cambridge is a rival institution. From ball tracing to education standards to just it's like two competing teams.
Yes, she's going to be online. She couldn't come. Yes. And but you know, I suppose we still have some time. And also yesterday he got in touch with me and he asked for location. So he's here. Maybe he will be a bit late, and I will be
Yeah.
here.
Because he's without
It's a little bit of a tedious process. Brexit for us.
the beginning.
Now we switched
Yes.
with
So we're in
during the
time.
British
Plus
Union,
minus
we
we're in time.
decided to have Brexit on Halloween day. But let's see if it happens. It has been postponed for the past two times. Hopefully not. Not yet. Not yet. It's coming. It's on its way. They are in the basic on the reception desk. Everyone's we just wait tomorrow.
No, one more,
One
because
more.
yes, another director won't be able to be present personally from India. She's going to get connected via Skype.
Okay, perfect. Yes. But then what's the end? So please use an opportunity to have coffee. It's a very special event that we have here. We're just waiting for one more person to join us, and then we'll start properly. Professor Green. Yeah, exactly. He's a Green Tantas pessoas falando inglês, né? Olha, eu estou aqui apenas 13 dias. Para mim está sendo um desafio. On the reception desk, on the basement.
Just a second. And they met our participants. That's why I had to finish.
Here. Which this one is a free seat.
Okay, so.
You like to come here? It depends if you don't mind camera facing the vestibule. That's why.
Your face will not come camera. So better to sit over here and turn it.
Like this is here.
Second round. No. Please, you can follow us.
Very good.
This is my speech.
No, really.
We are not beginning yet. Okay. Okay. So, because our team is fighting for to be paid more than that. This time they got on that way. Of course, Sweden, Russia, Canada. Yes, Canada and Russia.
Also, Putin is a great player of ice hockey, it seems.
Hopefully, good or
Right?
yes. I'm ready. I don't know.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Oxford, to the Oxford Academic Union. A special thank you for bringing nice weather to us. We've had some rains lately, but clearly the weather is changing. And to link this nice weather with the debate, I'm sure it will be as interesting as and hot as the weather today. I will not take much of your time, really. There's two things I wanted to say. First is, my name is Ivan Savov. I'm Managing Director of the Academic Union. So I'm in charge of organization. If any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out to me. Secondly, and I think that is a very important message from our president, Vincenzo Costigliola, who is the president also of the European Medical Association. He sends his best regards, and hope you find the debate today interesting and fulfilling. And I think last, what I want to say to you during this morning is that our moderator today will be Professor Rui Verde. He's a visiting professor at the University of Oxford at St. Anthony's College. He's an author of many books on economics and diplomacy. And today he will be moderating and hosting this wonderful international debate. Without further ado, can I pass the word to Professor Rui Verde?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. First of all, Ivan has already presented me. My name is Verde. It means green in English, so you can call me Green if it is easier. I'm Mr. Green, if you want. I see that is also the name of the new president of Ukraine, Zelensky. It seems means green also, so we have a lot of green everywhere in the world. So I'm here only to moderate and to accompany your presentations today. Let me make some previous words about the Academic Union. The Academic Union is a kind of association of universities of all the world. It has now more than 200 universities and high education establishments all over the world. It tries to put forward a network of establishments and persons to create a globalized achievement, let us say, a platform to change ideas and to change educational vocations and training. So it is not what we can call a formal institution, but a network of universities that is based here in Oxford. This is about academic union. About today's subject, it will be about University of the Future. As you know, the University of the Future is more now the University of the Present. Because the present university was created with what I would like to call the Spartan model, Spartan Prussian model. That is a model that intended to create persons to the markets as in factories in the past. So what was the model of the university in the 19th century was to create big buildings with big lecture rooms where a lot of people will be transformed, let us say, in a final product that will be the person that goes to have jobs. Nowadays things are different, and are different due to two reasons. The first reason will be demographic reason. Almost all persons are going to university nowadays, so universities cannot assure that everyone is going to have a job in the end. They only can ensure that they will have a tool, but not a job. The idea that university is the same as a job has ended. The second question that is put to university is the question of internet. In the past, the education sources were family, professors, and libraries. Now the main education source is internet. People can go to internet and see there what they want. And they now can contest professors, they can study by themselves, and that put a great pressure on universities. In fact, it's not really important to build big libraries nowadays, because when they are finished, they will be outdated. What is important is to have access and to explain how to have access to the internet world, IT world. And also we are entering in what Hannah Arendt called a world of work without workers. As the economy is in evolution, what we have seen is that we have a lot of work to do, but we don't need workers. So when we are preparing persons in the university, what we are preparing for, as they, most probably our kids, most of them will not work as you used to work in the past. Most of you, or some of you, when you were boarding your airplanes, maybe you already put your luggage in, making the check-in automatically, put your luggage automatically. Even you are now the luggage man in the airport, we have to put that in the bag and put the bag inside the... So people are being dispensed from the work. And that's a question for universities, when every year, after 3 or 4 years, we have a lot of persons graduating, what they are going to do. I'm not sure if it is the main problem, but it's one of the problems that are confronting universities. Well, but as Wittgenstein told once about what we don't know very well, we should be silent. So I'm not here to talk, but to hear you, and so I'm introducing the debates right now. We have here 4 presentations live. First one will be Dr. Annamalai Kumarapan, Chancellor of Gandhi Ram Rural Institute in India. Namaste. Second will be Professor Bika Ram Devrajan, Vice Chancellor, Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Third will be Dr. Anuran Kashyap from Nanavati College, Teachers for Women. Namaste. Namaste from India, okay. And finally, Professor Leonid Rivskis, Rector Riga Technical University from Latvia, Labrit, okay. And we will have also from Skype presence from India and from Cape Verde. Our sessions will be live streaming, so well, every word is what I have mentioned. Now everything is the internet, so will be also in the internet. And the program for today is a very big program. I have here, not to forget my guide. First we have a presentation of your university, it's a kind of, we are this. Then after the presentation we have a discussion, we will present your papers about your views concerning the university of the future. Then we have a session of awards, and after we have the leisure part. We have a tour by Oxford, and that's good because it's a good day, good weather. It is not usual. Oxford usually is grey, rainy and cold. This is an exception. And finally, we have a dinner. Also, it will be our papers will be publishing in a book featuring called University of the Future. That's right? Okay. So now we can begin with the presentations, what I call the small, I have here to watch, the small presentations regarding each one of the institutions, and I am very happy to call Dr. Annamalai Kumarappan. I'm sorry for my accent, from the Gandhi Ram, Chancellor from the Gandhi Ram Rural Institute, Deemed University, India. Namaste again, and the floor is yours. Okay, so you now control the techniques. This is only the presentation of your institution.
Right.
The discussion is after. Okay, thank you.
In 1956, 14 model rural institutes were set up. The first one to be initiated was in Gandhigram, Tamil Nadu. Dr. S. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, inaugurated the institute by lighting the lamp in 1956. The first ever rural institute started functioning when Pandit Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, rang the bell of the famous Bell Manda to initiate classes. Yes, it was the first in India's educational history. The institute had four colleges College of Rural Services, College of Agricultural Services, College of Sanitation, and College of Postgraduate Studies. The curriculum was fully rural-based. The system of education was based on the concept of education for life and education through life. The institute had the rare honor of being declared a deemed university through Srimati Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India, in 1976. Dr. G. Ramachandran became the founder Vice Chancellor. The Chancellor and Vice Chancellors are appointed by the Government of India. Sri Gajendra Darkar and Dr. D.S. Saundra adorned office as the first and second Chancellors. Thereafter, all the Vice Presidents of India have been the Chancellors of the Institute till 2012. Following the adoption of new MOA of Deemed University, the Government of India appointed Ms. Relena Jambala, Chairperson of Seva Bharat, as Chancellor in March 2012. Presently, Dr. P.M. Annamalai was appointed as Chancellor in 2017 for a term of 5 years.
The highlights of the academic achievements are introduction of new programs in the fields of habitat development, rural fisheries management, renewable energy, agriculture Technology, Geoinformatics, and Information Technology. The Institute has made substantial progress in the field of research, especially promotion of informal cooperative, grassroots governance, participatory development, social exclusion and inclusion, habitat development, cost-effective housing and sanitation, mushroom cultivation, learning technologies, sustainable agriculture through organic farming, nano biosensors, hydrophobic coating, segregation of brain images for better diagnosis, and so on. Be it the defluoridation of water, development of energy-efficient wooden log stove, development of low-cost bacteria testing with the focus is always on thus, through funded projects and publication in high impact factor journals, the Institute has earned a niche in the research domain.
The Institute's prime focuses on extension since its inception. Krish Vidya Kendra, Rural Energy Center, Rural Technology Center, Center for Social Inclusion and Inclusive Policy, Center for Women's Studies, and Department of Lifelong Learning and Extension are the powerful extension outfits of the Institute. Dr. G. Ramachandran Library houses volumes of books and manuscripts pertaining to Gandhian literature and rural development.
Global institutions like Canterbury Christ Church University, Germany, Exeter University, UK, partner with GRI in various endeavors. The serene academic atmosphere, age-old Gurukula mentoring system, morning assembly, interreligious Friday prayer, weekly Shramdan activities attract the staff and students from far and near. The Institute stands by the side of Government of India, supporting Unnat Bharat Abhiyan by adopting villagers participating in Clean India program and Skill India initiatives. Establishment of Deen Dayal Upadhyay Kaushal Kendra has paved way for introduction of vocational programs and the tie-up with CUNY Murugappa groups. Yamaha Motors has become a milestone in the public-private partnership. The Institute has been accredited A grade for the third time by NAC in 2006.
Gandhigram Rural Institute thus marches ahead, proving itself to be very much relevant even in the era of globalization. So, our former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's exhortation to GRU was quite germane.
Yes, sir. They want Gandhigram Rural University. But should have Gandhigram Rural University should be a pilot, should be a captain to have such type of value-based economic prosperity.
Okay, you want to add some words?
Yeah, we could just add some words.
Okay.
So, good morning to everyone. It's a privilege for me to be here this morning. And just I want to just to gone through our university works, what we are doing at the rural level and grassroots level. Because we have a belief is education for life and education through life. That's a basic ideology behind our university, and we are developed purely we are catering for rural services, and all we are connecting with the city with the rural. We are acting as a bridge in our country, and this is one of the oldest university where the many people, the world renowned people like Martin Luther King and lot of people have visited this university. And this university was a dream project of our father of nation Mahatma Gandhi. So we are just going through it. So whatever in the initial part of the speech, what he said, that job, regarding the job and the library challenges like internet and all those things, most probably we can explain with the way of practice what we are doing in the future in our discussion. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity.
Professor Kumarapan, thank you for your intervention, and we applaud the university.
Thank you so much.
And then now I call Professor Devrajani, Vice Chancellor, Liquid University of Medical and Health Science, Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum again. I don't know anything more to say. The floor is yours, sir.
Harvard University of Medical and Health Sciences is the first seat of medical learning. Starting as a medical school in 1881, this modest beginning was to become the harbinger of medical research and learning. Situated about 150 kilometers north of Karachi and 15 kilometers from the city of Hyderabad on the right bank of the river Indus. The campus spreads over 550 acres. This medical college, first established in the city of Hyderabad, was inaugurated by Sir Francis Gould, first governor of Sindh. This school was upgraded to the status of a medical college and named as the Sindh Medical College in 1945. By the end of the same year, it was renamed as Gao Medical College. The Sindh government subsequently started another college in the same premises of Civil Hospital at Hyderabad in 1951, which acquired its name, Liaquat Medical College, after the name of the first Prime Minister of Pakistan. The college was later shifted to its new campus at Jamshore in 1963. During its journey for more than 50 years, it made tremendous contributions in medical education, research, and health care. Initially, it ran MBBS courses only. The dental section was added in 1963. In the same year, the college also started postgraduate courses in various disciplines of medical science. It was upgraded as Postgraduate Institute in 1989. Besides, it became a recognized institution for the training for FCPS and MCPS, TCPS, of CBSP in almost all disciplines of medicine, surgery, dentistry, and allied sciences. It is worth mentioning that Council of the UK granted recognition of its MBBS degree immediately after its first batch passed out in 1956. During the last 10 years, it has produced over 1,000 specialists in various disciplines of clinical and basic sciences and postgraduate qualification of masters, MPhils, and diplomas. It attained the status of medical university in 2001 by an ordinance from Sindh Assembly. It offers postgraduate courses including PhD in more than 100 disciplines. The newly constructed facilities includes Professional Development Center, Diagnostic and Research Institute of Gastroenterology and Immunology, Institute of Ophthalmology, Sindh Institute of Endocrinology and Gynecology, Institute of Dermatology and Mineralogy, Office of Research Innovation and Commercialization. The Liaquat University of Medical and Health Sciences receives students from all over the country as well as foreign countries and has over 30 affiliated colleges. It provides boarding facilities to over 3,000 students, both 6 hostels for boys, while there are also 6 hostels for the girl students and a working women hostel for postgraduate students. The journey to the present day's excellence was that easy. With the help of Almighty Allah, LUMS has acquired global standing within a short span by virtue of team efforts of the faculty members and administrative power. The vision and mission of LUMS clearly outlines the roadmap that this university has set for itself. The Lowell Medical College is a consequent college of LUMS established with an objective to overcome shortage of male doctors in the province. The Lowell Medical College is the only boys medical college in Pakistan. The college has fully equipped lecture halls and laboratories with an unprecedented availability of sector-free virtual dissection table in the anatomy department. Diagnostic and Research Laboratory was established in October 2002. This laboratory offers all laboratory investigations along with advanced diagnostic services to the public at highly subsidized rates. Liaquat University Medical College has a number of world-class laboratories that not only cater to the needs of its attached hospital, but also play a pivotal role in the ongoing research work by its research scholars. Institute of Dentistry, People's Nursing School, Institute of Physiotherapy, Institute of Biomedical Engineering and Technology, College of Pharmacy, Naval Invasive Surgical Center, Water Testing and Surveillance Laboratory, Community Health FM Radio. No university can claim success in provision of modern education without a vital department in information technology. This department has completely changed the view of the university, which not only has aided in providing standard facilities for research and education, but has also connected this university with sister institutions both in Pakistan and abroad. There is an Arabic quote that says, "He who has help has hope, and he who has hope has everything." LUMS, in that sense, is cultivating a constantly learning approach in the region as well as the world. In the scientific world, the only thing that is burning is change.
Very well. Professor Devrajani, thank you.
Thank you.
To once add some words, please.
Present now or later?
No.
During discussion.
No.
Okay. So,
Just about your
Presentation.
institute if you want to.
okay. So apart from this, we always think need-based things. Okay. We are running a course of online diploma in family health care since 2015 online and live interactive, online live interactive through Microsoft Link. The people, they listen us, our teacher teach them, and then they take a question from the audience. So live online courses we are running this. Online for family health care to train the old general practitioner, and also we got the need-based short courses for example common diseases, for diabetes, for liver diseases, for environmental diseases, for water diseases. So we train the human resource sitting in the periphery, sitting in the office, and we will take just their half an hour every day, early in the morning, so their duties are not disturbed. So this I want to aid it. And we have got a diagnostic research lab. We have got a branches throughout, state labs throughout the province, more than 35. And we are providing the facilities to the patient as well as for the research. Again, the diagnostic research. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I call Dr. Anurag Kashyap, Principal of Dr. Bananavati College of Architecture for Women, India. Namaste.
Namaste.
And it's all yours now.
This is our founder. I think there is some, I had sent with the voice as well, but it's okay, no problem. I'll come. Let it run through on its own, and then I will speak on this.
Okay, okay. Okay, now the voice, please.
Thank you. Thank you for this great opportunity. And I'm glad to be here amongst all of you. The parent body of my institute is founded by a great visionary, Dr. Thundo Keshav Karve. Is the name. He founded in 1896 our parent body, and as you all know, especially you can connect better with the Indian situation, that way back 150 years before, women were not allowed to step out of the kitchen and kids, and especially when they are widows, their life was miserable in India. So our founder, way back 150 years before, he decided, after the sad death of his first wife, he remarried for the first time in Asia with a widow in order to give her a status in the society. And then his wife, the second wife, and himself decided to work for women education, for the emancipation of women, so that they can stand on their own feet. They will have an identity in the society, and that's how he founded world's second women university in India. 1896. And he started the institute by adopting 5 destitute girls from refugee areas who do not have parents or do not have any financial support. He adopted 5 girls way back in 1896 and he started the institute. Today we have more than 1,000 destitute girls who do not have any support. In India the situation is still different. When you go to the Mufusil area, villages, and when a particular girl has nobody to take care, that particular girl is likely to face challenges in life. So we keep adopting such girls and we take care of their complete livelihood, food, education, shelter, up to marriage. We take care of that particular girl. And so today we have more than 1,000 such girls we have adopted. So this is the background of our parent body. And for this particular auspicious work by our founder, he got India's highest award, that is Bharat Ratna, the Diamond of India award. In 1994, I got the opportunity to start architecture college, the first architecture college for women. Naturally, the constitution of our institute is only for women. So our scope was restricted to only women. So it was first experience of its kind and everybody was doubtful. But soon as you have seen there that we could prove that we are one of the best in Asia. We got the award from KPMG in Singapore. Why we were given that award, in spite of so many great institutes in India, why we got that award? Mainly because of 3 reasons. The first reason is the globalization process. We could collaborate with the world universities. The number is more than 48 across the world, starting from USA to Japan. The entire world we have covered. And our collaborations are divided into 3 parts. Student exchange like Ontario Group of Universities, Canada, Politecnico Milano, Italy, South Bank, Australia, then joint studios like Urbana-Champaign from USA, then Curtin University from Australia for joint studios, and the third type is joint courses like Barcelona School of Architecture and A School of Architecture London. We have collaboration with them. Zaha Hadid is was the greatest architect of the world from UK, and we had a collaboration with her. So this was the first reason why we got that award. Second reason is we are part of United Nations because we completed their projects in 11 nations, starting from Tanzania, Zambia, Jamaica, Kenya, Slovenia, Maribor University, and so many other places with local material, local people, and local technology, sustainable housing we could concentrate on. So that was the second reason, and so United Nations declared us as their partners under United Nations Impact Program. So we are the partners of United Nations under the Academic Impact Program. So that was the second reason. And third reason is under the guidance of the greatest architect of the world, Zaha Hadid, for digital architecture, we became the first institute, though in spite of being only for women, we became the first institute to start digital architecture in India. What is digital architecture? Normally you have seen the buildings with 4 columns and beams. But there was a thought in 1960 that why not liberate the construction industry out of the clutches of only 4 columns and beams, and why not try different geometries for the load transfer? That is known as digital architecture. So we became the founder, and technology-wise we claim that we are superior in India with robotic architecture, with 3D printing, with CNC machines, and all that. So with this technological advancement, we are completely on. We started using mobile as the platform for education, and we have many applications on our mobile on web-based ERP system. So So technology-wise, also we have done a lot. Why I'm specifically saying this, because in my discussion I'm going to take completely opposite point of view. So I'm mentioning this, that technology-wise we have achieved a lot, but the later part is going to be different in my opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And finally, I suppose, Professor Leonid Ribikis, Rector of Riga Technical University from Latvia. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. What we got on screen? This will be, first of all, will be PowerPoint presentation. We pass slideshow. I will
Talk later.
no, I will talk
During the slideshow. Okay. Very well.
Okay, this one. Well, maybe somebody don't know, but Latvia is located in the north of Europe, Baltic Sea. We are already 15 years in European Union, and population is rather small, 2 million, but area of land is twice bigger like Belgium. We were established 1862. Then there was Tsarist Russia time. This was first Polytechnical Institute in that big empire. Now we have our second independency time from 1990, and as any university we have values, academic freedom and others around in this circle. We have mission, vision. Of course, our vision is to be the best in around Baltic Sea. Not so easy, at least in Baltic countries. We are trying to achieve that. At this moment, we are like a third generation university without with high quality study process, excellence in research, and sustainable valorization. Besides that, we have 6 horizontal priorities like internationalization, digitalization, interdisciplinarity, organizational, financial, and infrastructure efficiency. We have almost 200,000 alumni, but notable only Nobel Prize winner is Wilhelm Ostwald. It was 100 years ago. Then Paul Walder and British Charter, founder of space exploration and flights to the Mars. Also nowadays former President of Republic of Latvia, Andris Bērziņš, radio engineer, graduated in 1972. And Valdis Dombrovskis at this moment is European Commission Vice President for Euro and Social Bank. Facts and figures, around 15,000 students. On this slide is 18%, but basically we have 20% foreign students, many of them from India, close to 1,000 students from India, and then 11 study branches and 48 study programs fully in English, and affiliations also. Schools, we have 9 schools or faculties, we are naming them in Europe. Computer science, information technology, electronics, telecommunications, power and electrical engineering, material science, applied chemistry, mechanical engineering, transport and aeronautics, civil engineering, architecture, engineering, economics and management, and also Riga Business School is our part, and e-learning technologies and humanities. You can see Litvic campus. This is our on island, river Daugava flowing through Riga is this campus. We are developing that. Study process is bachelor, master and doctoral studies. Doctoral 4 years. In Latvia we are only university with 4-year doctoral studies because engineering. This number of students are higher education, we are also improving year by year. Some types of higher education has different rankings in Europe and New Europe, and emerging economies, and in US we have 5 stars. Then about research platforms are totally 6. We are leading in Latvia in politics, energy and the environment, then cities and development, information communication technologies, transport, materials, processes, and security and defense. Every faculty or school is issuing their scientific proceedings. Research projects are under European programs and Nordic programs, and also different programs between different countries. We are a member of CERN, only university, not Latvia, and European Space Agency too. Then we are developing valorization, we have design factory, and we are in network of 12 design factories, and also some other networks like CESAR, CEFI, European University Association, and others you can see on this slide. Student parliament or student self-governing bodies are obligatory in our university. You can see this is parliament of all university. Students are active. We are winning time to time European spaghetti bridge building competition, where the load is close to 600 kilos, but it's spaghetti and glue only. Then also we are European champions in pneumobile competition, and a couple years ago won a sumo robot competition in Japan. We are offering good hostels for students, dormitory buildings. So sport activities are supported also from our budget, and we are doing good in our also Baltic region. And cultural activities, we have many, basically 3 big choirs, the brass band, big band, dance ensemble. Almost everybody in Latvia is singing or dancing, and this is national day. So, then very short movie. Video, yeah. Okay, thank you. This is all.
Okay, thank you. So the first part of the game is done, and it has a proof of our aim to put in contact very different and diverse universities from different parts of the world to change their experience. Some things are very similar and others are different, and that is a beautiful thing of life, let us say. Now, we don't make a break, no. We go straight to the discussion session where you are going to present your papers, let us say, your opinions about the university of the future. I'm not going to repeat myself. I have already talked about the problems, not the solutions, and I suppose you are going to talk about the solutions and your views about the future of the universities. And that's it. I'm not going to develop. So I call the first discussional presentation, Professor Kumarapan. Again, the floor is yours now to enlighten us about your perspectives. Yes. Thank you very much.
So, can I start?
Yes, whenever you want.
So, basically, I'm going to talk about, this is a 150th year of Mahatma Gandhi. So, I'm happy to be here. We are at the celebration of 150th year by our government as well as our university, because our university is basically focused on the principles of Mahatma Gandhi, which is the father of our nation. And he has proposed about the education long back, and we are just practicing still, but we never felt that it become old, because the challenges which we are facing today is still helping us to understand that the education system which was brought by Mr. Gandhi is still helping us to make us feel that we are at the edge of system has proven long for livelihood. So I'm going to talk about Naitalim, the education system. So genesis of Naitalim education system is a brainchild of Mahatma Gandhi, and this experiment of Gandhiji was early as 1896 by educating his own children in South Africa, inspiration by John Ruskin and Do This Last, and experiments conducted at Phoenix, Tolstoy Farm, ashrams of South Africa, and innovations of Kochurba Sabarmati and Sevagram Ashram in pre-independent India at his own town. So they started with the 5 basic schools in Bihar area, and during the non-cooperation movement in 1920, many educational institutes were established in India. So Gandhiji himself had established the famous Gujarat Vidyapeeth at Ahmedabad in the same year. And in 1937, the Silver Jubilee meeting of Marwari Education Society of Barda was held. The senior Congress functionaries and freedom fighters like Jamanlal Bajaj are invited Gandhiji to preside over the function. So Gandhiji brilliantly used this occasion to express his innovative views of basic higher education and combine with the skill development program along with the regular studies and communicate the message through the country. The Gandhiji visionary statement on basic and higher education was published in India Daily called Harijan. The Gandhiji has visualized his experiment as an alternate to Macaulay system of education, which I talked about. So the visionary statement of Naitalim is, by education, I mean an all-around drawing out of the best in child and man body, mind, spirit, and literacy is neither the end of education nor even the beginning. It is only one of means by which the man and woman can be educated. Literacy in itself is no education. I would therefore, being the child education by teaching it's a useful handicraft and enabling it to produce from the moment it's beginning its training. Thus, every school can be made self-supporting and condition being that state takes over the manufacturing of the schools. So I hold the highest development of mind and the soul is possible under such a system of education. The only every handicraft has been taught to merely mechanically as it done today. But scientifically, the child should know the why and wherefore every process. I have myself taught sandal making and even spinning of the lines with good results. This method does not exclude the knowledge of history and geography, but I find that it is the best taught by the transmitting such general information by words of mouth. One importance, the time as much as the manner of the reading and writing. The sign of alphabet may be taught later, or of course the pupil learns mathematics through his handicraft. I attach the greatest importance to the primary education, which according to me, the conception of matriculation is less English should be equal to the present. So the following resolutions were passed based on the education. So 7 years of every child in the country should get educated, start with education. Medium of instruction of child which is user friendly, and practical and manual activities should be go through along with the education, and don't linking education with the handicraft. Here the handicraft means I would like to say skill development along with the skill. Okay, next. The two of Mahatma Gandhi followers, Asha Devi and Aranganayakam, took up the responsibility of establishing the Naithalim program in Sevagram Ashram. The Naithalim conference was convened in January 1945. The delivered in inaugural address, Gandhiji gave the following ideas for imparting education for everyone in the community. So we have a different kind of education system: university level education, pre-basic education, basic education, post-basic education. The whole community, including the parents, and expecting children between 2 years to 7 years and 7 to 14 years, 14 to 18 years and beyond 18 years. So we are categorizing the education. We are catering depends on the requirement or a need based. And rural university in Sevagram, and it was inaugurated by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who is the first Prime Minister of India. And it was evidence that setting up the university is necessary to provide upward mobility of a youth who come out of post-basic and basic education. So then there are various committees has been appointed, Radhakrishnan Committee and Sharmili Committee on Rural Universities, which has been taken for the next level, and all over the country we open up with the 14 institutes such kind of attitude of rural development. But I should say proudly that among that 14 institutes, the only institute which is surviving more than many years since the beginning, since the inception, is our institute, which is keep on just going through the lot of rough weathers and tough weathers. Now it become a huge university of students of more than 4,000 to 5,000 people are there, and more than 500 international students are there. And especially we are taking the people, catering the education for most of them from the country like Africa, as well as few peoples from Europe and from Japan. For especially in Japan, we have a huge market potential for Gandhian thought process, because the arbitrary methods and all those things will be a very good education system we have. We are one of the pioneers in case of arbitrary, non-violence and all those things. So based on the recommendation of the committee, 15 Rural Institute was sanctioned. This is our institute where we are just still, which is sustaining because of the 15 institutes which are being gone out, and we are just only in the university we are sustaining in the same model of rural education. Next. So they are our founders. Next. Okay, next. Yeah. So this was blessed by Mahatma Gandhi, and he was just started in 2nd October on his birthday in 1946. He has visited our campus and he has blessed us, and he always says that success attains where the truth begins. Okay, a unique experiment in our university is the basic education program was started in the early 1947 at Gandhigram. They grew in different directions, including creation, Teachers Training Institute. It also focused to develop the infrastructure of establishment of rural institute and higher education, and education transformation of life. So here I want to just talk about the education system like Gurukul model, which we are just following in our country. The Gurukul model is basically it is first any human being want to have an education of rights is first he should not be under poverty. So if he is in poverty, he never is work with the brain. His stomachs are not filled, the brain doesn't listen to it. So what we just teach them means most of our students are first time graduates. So once he get graduated, his entire family is getting a system of education in their track. So the most of our, being a government aided university, so we are supporting lot of rural people who are never exposed to education. So we are doing for them. That's a first catering which we are doing unique from the other universities. And we are working on casteism, alcoholism and unhygienic, insanitary way of life and superstitious things. So all those things we are working, which is really required in their life as an applied knowledge of education rather than education. So we are working, which is because these are all the social problems which make the difference in a society between an educated and non-educated, that is an illiterate. The principals of various colleges in the Gandhigram Rural Institute were able to provide the atmosphere of Gurukul, where the students could stay, learn, work, grow up together with practiced and letter and spirit till today. So we have a separate group called Shanti Sena, which is a very unique method of operating arbitratorship in the villages. So it is another important pride activity of our institute. It is a revolutionary alternative of contemporary policing and parliamentary forces for spreading the peace and harmony in the subcontinent, initially then the global later. So we are planning with the, because we are just going through the villages, if there is any problem or clash between the group of people, there is a difference, and rather than going to the court, and we will just educate with the law and other things for a arbitrator. We train the arbitrator in the village only, a same guy, and he will go and just arbitrate between the groups, and we will sort out the problems so which it won't go. So that we want to maintain the peaceful environment where you can have a harmony over there, so which can be better, which is actually a future global challenges, one of the future global challenges. So in order to manage that, we are just shaping the people basically and shaping the mindset of the people through this kind of applied knowledge of education. And we are working on agriculture, and the following colleges constitute GRI during the inception. They were College of Rural Science and Training of Rural Youth, and College of Postgraduate Studies with offered postgraduate diploma in Rural Sociology and Community Development, and Colleges of Agriculture Science which offer 2-year certificate course in Agriculture Science. See, basically India is basically an agriculture country. 80% of our national income revenue is from agriculture. And I think in the future, due to global warming and all these things, the land and food and agriculture is going to be a prime focus for anyone. So in that factor, we are just developed with we are running this since many years, and we are just have a lot of branches, specialized branches in agriculture. Now we have a specialized program called organic agriculture, and how to convert the land to virgin land, and all those things we have, which is we call it as. Actually, these are all our old concepts which we are following through our ancient sciences, but we are with the references of new research and references of the new evidences. We are practicing again, and we are inducing to the society again back, which is required because the world is facing the challenge of global warming and other things. And apart from that, we have, these are all the other faculties which have the language, because which is expression it's required. So we have our Tamil and Indian languages, and English and foreign languages. We have foreign language like French, Germany and Spanish, and the Faculty of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, and Faculty of Rural Social Sciences, and Faculty of Rural Oriented Studies, and Faculty of Health and Sanitation. And we have a 3-dimensional approach for education, teaching, research and extension. So the extension is a unique nature of our university, because once you learn, and once you did a research, once you practice, and it has to be delivered to the society. Unless it is not delivered to the society in a right form, the education is useless. So we just always look into extension as become a highly celebrated model which earned both nationwide and global appreciation. And presently GRI comprises of schools, 12 departments, 16 centers, offering 129 academic program ranging from certificate course to graduate program and doctoral and postdoctoral program. At present, Institute has 3,837 students, including PhD scholars, and 178 teaching faculty and 243 non-teaching staff. So these are all the various steps which we become a deemed university in 1976, and 2002 we got accreditation from NAC, and 2016 we accreditation with the NAC with the 3rd cycle of E grade, and Institute has been recognized under 12B of UGC Act. So again, we got a NIRF ranking, which is a all India ranking of more than 2,000, 3,000 universities. In that, we got a 75th place, and we provide more on research and advancement and knowledge, and function of Center of Extension working leading to inaugurated Rural Development Campus. And we have a daily prayer programs and multi-religious program, because India is a country of multi-fabrics. And system of old Gandhigram, the same thing, inception, since inception, whatever the program which we have conducted, we have just maintained the heritage of those programs with the new vision and new ideas, and the changes and challenges which we are facing. Based on that, we have just changed the new things with the old one. And next. So the village placement program for GRI training is compulsory for the people, because everyone has a rights to stay in village to understand the problem of the village people. So we are focusing on it. Every student will have a exposure to the village to understand their, so they can capture the better ideas and they can create new inventions based on the requirement of the society. So I take this opportunity to seeking the valuable participation from all the esteemed members who are present here for their individual and their organization cooperation is following areas. Placements, I am proud to bring to your kind notice of all weather students who are capable of producing desired results if given opportunity by a honorable audience, and required language of support of our students like IUNTS and shall be provided to our students by the institution. On student exchange program, we shall privilege to solicit the students' fraternity from across the globe, visit our institution and get the benefit vice versa. So international collaboration, as a Gandhigram Institute is working to get the international accreditation. We are looking forward for the international collaboration for the mutual benefit with the honorable participant of the institutions. Gandhigram Rural Institute is a pioneer and leader of Gandhian studies and English science. Wish to impart the special curriculum under the joint program through distance education mode and spread the peace of harmony across the globe. We solicit the generous contribution under the corporate social responsibility from like-minded institutions and corporates for across the world towards the further enhancing of our extension activities and outreach program and conducted by the institution for over 6 decades in rural India. So this is for to be in touch with us, and I want to point out certain points like we are. I've just told that actually we have just focused on arbitration education, and we are working on education for the life. It's an applied education, and we are working for a sustainable growth. The sustainable growth means we created 7 extension program of our villages. We have adapted the 7 villages. In that village don't want to depend on anything for anything, and they will create a clean energy. It's completely that village is with the solar power, and that village can produce their own food material, and that village will have their own rainwater harvesting system, and that village can produce their own cloth, and they are not dependent at all. So we are just making a sustainable village, which with the idea of globalization, with the global warming should be prevented in the future, with the idea at the same time ecology system should be balanced. So we are always focused on sustainable growth. We have just did a pilot study on 7 villages, which has been successful. So now we are trying to take that pilot study to spread all over the country with the different corners. So this will help us to improve our the quality of human beings. So our main aim of our teachings and main aim of our university is creating a quality human being with a mindset of the new advancement and new challenges what required they have to face. At the same time, it should be not at the cost of bad energy. So clean energy, and without sparing the natural resources much. So that is all about our institute. So I always feel that the education should be in an applied way, and which we are doing, and the model is successful. We are running it, and I'm inviting everybody, if you want, you can just come and have our campus. Thank you so much for listening.
So, are there any questions to this first paper, let us say?
What kind of problems you come across when you're dealing with rural, especially when you're working on rural health?
Yeah, when we are working on rural health, especially on sanitations. Because in our country, recently we have started the drive called Swachh Bharat of Clean India movement. And before that, actually we were doing it, but we cannot able to penetrate very deeply into the villages. It's something like I'm taking slippers to Africa to sell the slippers in Africa where the people are barefoot. So I want to make them understand that you should not be in barefoot. This is called slipper. So that is a way what we are going through the villages. Because villages, they have a present mindset, and they have a certain ideas, and they have that belief system for a long time. So it is hard to make them to understand, at least to make them to taste once that how it would be. So that is a challenge which we are getting in. But still we are just through teachers and through arbitrary system, and we are just getting a solution through it. So first you have to live with them. That's why we are having a compulsory program of students to stay in the villages. Once they stay for a week or 2 weeks, they become acquaintance, they become friends. So they can easily able to make them understand that we are living like this, why can't you live? So inspiring them, working along with them and living along with them. So that is a way which we are.
So what is job provision of your graduates when they go to community or rural health?
Yeah, we have a rural health inspectors, and we have a rural health program coordinators, and we have primary health centers. We appoint them in a primary health centers, and sanitary inspectors. We have a different kind of posts which we give. They will take care of that particular, and water management system, the people will send it across, and corporations will take recruitment from us, and the different kind of cleaning system we just teach them with the international to national and to the district level, and so we teach them disaster management cleaning system. So all these things, so they will get into absorb in a different kind of requirements. They will just absorb.
How your students live in rural areas without hospitals and everything else?
Yeah, actually that is a challenge. What we want to do means, if we want to inspire someone, we want to stay with them with their problems. So then only they will understand that they are looking at things with our problem in our eyes. So what we feel means, we have an extension program of small rural huts and houses, and which is sponsored by the university, and there we will arrange them to stay there, and they will be working along with the group from morning to evening. They help to the peoples, whatever small help they can provide they will do, and while helping they will educate them. So they will be along with them for 2 weeks or 3 weeks as a citizen of that small village. So then the people will start what happens.
Very well. Very enlightening. Thank you. Now, Professor Devrajani from Pakistan, medical science is a bit different. Let us see what we can learn from you now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a few.
I will talk on the University of Future.
No, it's not working. She will change.
Okay.
No problem.
Next.
Next.
It should be working. Just
You should press this button. No, not that. Yes.
Not much like. This one not like the.
Okay.
Yes,
and I will assist you. That's fine.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. First slide. Let's begin again.
Again,
Okay.
begin again.
Begin again.
This
First.
is not his.
It's not in this.
This is not my presentation. In my presentation, there will be the global map of the globe first.
Madam change mother and
What? Change order?
I will get
Okay. The next one will be you, Professor Kashyap, then we'll return to you when the technical problems are solved.
For me, they don't.
You don't have.
I will speak.
So it will be easier.
Yes, it is easier, and I will be speaking what I have felt in last 55 years of my experience. Dear sirs and ma'ams, you are all great academicians, and I would like to pose a few questions before you to think. First of all, let me give you my background that I talked on technology a lot, and I have already achieved on technology front, being the pioneering college in digital architecture. Also, I am the committee member for artificial intelligence and this machine engineering. Why I mention this, that now I have started really thinking fundamentally about the technology and the inclusion of technology in education. There are a lot of stories to tell that why I started thinking fundamentally, but let me come to the point directly.
Yes.
The point is, most of you are already PhD and doctorate, and in our research methodology there are keywords, and those keywords are, the title is University of Future. So what is university fundamental? University is a platform to give knowledge, education, and if I may say wisdom, perhaps wisdom as well. Why universities? Why we require to give knowledge? Why we require to give education? The fundamental question. I think the answer is to enhance the quality of life in all the respects. So what is quality of life? Quality of life is peaceful and happy existence on the planet, if you agree with me. Now let's start thinking like this. If we have come to a peaceful and happy life, a healthy life on this planet, then what is life is all about? We are going into the keywords, and the fundamental word is life now. How are we going to relate with the universities? So what is life? According to me, life is like a Rubik's cube with many sides to it, many colors to it. But to give a simile, when I started thinking that when I admit a raw material who have passed 12th standard, 10 plus 2, into an automation plant of syllabus, curriculum, education for 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, what we all academicians do is the process one side of the Rubik's cube of life. We try to match one color of it, and at the end of the course, when we throw that particular product out of our automation plant of education or university, we are 100% sure that he is a great economist, he is a great doctor, he is a great architect, he is a great chartered accountant, because we have a degree certificate to prove, we have gold medal to prove, we have distinction to prove with certificates. But can we really prove that the product which we have thrown out of the university, out of the automation plant of the syllabus, is he really a good human being, is the question. So I started thinking fundamentally, because I got a lot of experience about that sort, that people having great degree certificate, great gold medal and get all that, but I was somewhere not confident in calling them as a good personalities or good human beings. And sir, you said one word, when we talk of future of universities, you said the word presence. So naturally we have to have the context of the present. So what is the present scenario? Lot of violence, lot of turmoil, lot of religious conflicts, lot of things are happening in the world, and are not universities the resource centers or the center for processing the human mind? Are we delivering good products to the world? Are we happy with the end product, what we are producing through our curriculums and through our examination systems and through technology? Of course I respect, it has its own role to play as an advancement. But what is the ultimate purpose of the technology, information, etc., etc.? So according to me, it's we have to match all the colors of life, all the colors of the Rubik's Cube. So while processing, see one more thing which I noticed, that when I admit the 12th standard students onto my automation plant of, I am deliberately giving the example of educational factory, and I call it as university, that these students give us the golden period of their life from 18 to 23, 24, 25, 26. It's the golden period of their life. And they give us the golden time of the day. They spend from 9 o'clock early in the morning till late in the evening. They are with us. And we as academicians, what we deliver to them? Only syllabus, only curriculum. Is it sufficient? create a good human being? I don't think so. So my keyword for this particular discussion is a holistic education. And as he will be able to connect better, in a Gurukul system, that a holistic education is very important. So what should it cover in the holistic education? Suppose if it is, now I pose the example of my own architecture syllabus. In architecture, I realized that when I'm teaching architecture, most of the students started facing problem with the eyes because we work on the computers. There are so many professional hazards, so many backaches, so many migraines, so many indigestion problems, so many things. Have I ever asked my student that with empathy that what kind of breakfast you had today? What kind of food habits you have you got your health checkup done? Where do you stay? What are your personal problems? To give a few examples, my college is a girls' college, and my wife being a gynecologist, I attended her workshop once, and I came across a case of PCOD, PCOC. Okay, so it's a typical condition. And when I started dealing with failure cases in my college, I realized I was reminded of my wife's speech, being a doctor, and I by the by told her that why not get your PCOD checkup done. She started laughing. She asked me, sir, are you a medical doctor or a PhD doctor? I said, forget that. I am a human being. I am concerned with your performance, and your performance, the problem with your performance cannot be encompassed only in this. I will not be able to find those problems only in the syllabus. I have to go beyond that. I have to consider you as a human being holistically, and then I have to address to your problems. So she got the PCOD done, and to my surprise, it was positive. It is a medical test. So I talked to my wife, and that's how I started addressing holistically different issues with sense of inclusion. So according to me, our syllabi, our curricula must be holistic in order to understand the body first, because body is the first medium to make our presence on this planet happy. So are we aware of what this medium the God has given to us, apart from architecture, so-called, or engineering, medicine? So we need to be healthy, we need to be inclusive. I am intelligence, the moment I call myself PhD and I sit in the chair of my principal, I create unnecessary two sides, and the students sit on that particular side, and I unfortunately have an upper hand, and I started looking down at them. So I have to consider them inclusively, whatever the case may be, a failure or an intelligent student, a gold medalist. I have to address the student not as a robot. I don't admit robots past standard, but I admit human beings. So another thing is that, have we considered the society while creating our curricula? We have to play many roles in life. I am somebody's friend, I am somebody's son, I am somebody's daughter, I am somebody's daughter-in-law, I am somebody's son-in-law, I am somebody's neighbor, I am a national of some country. Am I addressing these issues? No, I have narrowed down the education system so much to a particular branch, and we process only one color of that particular personality. So our education also must touch upon for the students starting from 18th year to the 25th year of their life, of different roles. How are they going to play? Which perhaps will save divorces in future. Have we ever addressed divorces in our education system? Never. So if we have the context of life comprehensively taken together, then is our education system sufficient? That's what I started thinking on. So there are so many problems, and I think that the solution is in our education system, like, you know, old age problems, unethical things, frauds, extramarital affairs, bribes, etc., etc., etc. So where do we give value education? At least in our syllabus, we do not have any value education subject added formally in our curriculum. So I have an utopian, perhaps you might call this an utopian concept or utopian syllabus, but we have to take care of the spiritual quotient, we have to take care of the emotional quotient, we have to take care of the intellectual quotient, which we are very skilled at. We are all very skillful in addressing the intellectual quotient, because we start at intelligence, we stop at intelligence. So physical quotient, that is health, food, exercises. Then societal quotient, am I being a part of a good society or forming a good society? Then am I playing all the roles in life properly? Thus, at the end of the curriculum, or the student passing out of the university should be a complete personality which will create a good, which will contribute to a good world, a very positive world, without any riots, without any religious compartments, without anything, and which will address to the humanity. So my future, my university of future is will have a base of humanity, a human face. So I conclude this point of view with a balance. The key word is the balance. Balance leading to humanity with human face, and let us liberate ourselves out of the limitations of a very channelized and defined automation plant of the education restricted to a particular branch, and let us start addressing other issues of life, most of the issues of the life, so that we will live, or we will have a great future in the world, and let us have a very peaceful, healthy, positive world. And I think universities are the platforms and responsible in a way for the present situation, and will be responsible for the future situations in the world. So let's have universities with humanity. Thank you.
Now, any question? So I have one question.
Please, sir.
Well, I think your perspective of the good human being is very interesting, but how many students do you... I have now a practical question. I agree with the principle, but I want to see how we can translate it in practice. How many students you have in your institutions?
In my institution, 1,000 students.
1,000. How many students? Number.
Yeah.
Begin by the number.
Yeah, 1,000 in my own college.
1,000. 1,000 is sufficient for my file.
Yeah.
So how can you make this holistic approach, turning the questions of emotional, spiritual, and so on, with 1,000 students? You need more or less 500 professors, 500 tutors, 1 for 2, or what is your idea in practice? To translate this in practice.
Okay, how we have...
How it translate? Because yes, that could be a solution for the problem we have of the factory universities. That they enter, they have the syllabus, and they go out, and they have no education, only syllabus, instruction, but no education. I agree with that could be a route, but we have a problem, is how we translate that in practice. So if you have 1,000 students, how many persons you need to orientate in guiding them, let us say?
How we have started working on this.
Yes.
The first thing is that there are 2 syllabi working in parallel. One syllabus is of the university, a traditional syllabus of architecture or engineering or regular syllabus. And the second syllabus is the syllabus of BNCA. BNCA is the name of my college, short form. Okay, so we have our own syllabus as a parallel syllabus. Then we have made cards, progress books for every student. And in first year we expose the students to various types of interactions as credit points. As
That
an
is a bit the same as you as mentioned in your
Yeah.
PSSC. A bit the same. Okay. I'm
So
interested
credit
in-
points.
Yes.
For example, we organize the lectures in first year about the ophthalmologies of sports medicine. Say for example on physics, they have to understand their body first, and because they have to live longer. So we teach them how to live long, and they have to take the credits in first year.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand.
Then in second year, we slightly go to the emotional quotient. Especially being girls, many people ask me in the interview that what difference I found in co-ed college and the girls' college. I found that girls are more emotional. Their emotional quotient is quite higher than this. What my sorry for my observation, but because when I used to scold a particular student or make accountable for a boy for the submissions, why have not done submissions, why have got less marks, etc. A boy would take it in a different manner. A girl would be emotional. Sir, why are you becoming harsh? So, how to handle emotional quotient in the society when that girl goes out? So there are lectures in the second year. In third year, there are lectures on the soft skills. In final year, there are lectures on the spiritual quotient, which India is famous for.
So you run a parallel syllabus.
Parallel syllabus.
And they have to achieve some credits in that part.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they pass out, they sorry, sir.
I have a question also. Of course, I am very enthusiastic about such a utopistic program, let's say, but to create a good human beings in general, not only educated human beings. But my question is maybe very simple about financing. Who is interested to finance those good human being creation, not only to get specialists for business and use them, but also to create and educate good humans, government or municipality or some business angels, or who can give you some financial support to do this, because this is I think take more time like to teach mathematics or physics or electricity.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion.
The first answer is our institute being a social institute. There are many philanthropists, donors supporting it. The very name of my college, if you read Dr. Bhanuben Nanavati, so the Nanavati is the name of the donor who donated a huge sum for the cause of social work. There are many such philanthropists. Second thing is that it doesn't require a lot of money for that, because we arrange guest lectures, and those guest lecturers, for example, we invite #1 doctor in India, #1 spiritual guru in India, and they come understanding the cause. This being a very noble cause, they come philanthropically. They don't charge anything, so they support our activity because they also want to shape up the personality. And time-wise, we work from Monday to Fridays, 5 days, with a very heavy regular curriculum. But on Saturdays and Sundays, 1 hour or 2 hours, we find for this extra credit, the second syllabus, as we call it, syllabus for life. So that much exposure is sufficient. See, we cannot teach and we can't claim that in 5 years given to us for undergraduate, we will definitely convert great person. We don't claim that. What we claim is we open up the windows of their minds that yes, there are certain aspects also it coexist other than architecture, that those aspects are necessary to live a good life. And we open up the windows, that's all. And then they start thinking accordingly. So we cannot encompass everything. Because our college not being a residential college, time is definitely a restriction.
Do you have any student counseling center?
Yes, we have counseling center for this.
Okay.
And the students have to register to the counseling center, especially around 10-20% cases. So what happens, this age is very bad, from 18 to 23. They are likely to get addicted, they are likely to get diverted from the main track. So we try to bring them on the main track through this counseling center, which is very important.
That discussion, remembers yesterday I was reversing in a panel about the China investment in Africa. It's a completely different, but it's strange that, and a lot of members from African governments were keen on China, and they said exactly, when China appears with an investment project, they don't ask about the numbers, they ask about the ideas, what we want to do, and they think in the long term. When the Europeans appear, they ask, let's see the business model, where are the numbers? So the members of the African government say, we prefer the Chinese, because they have a more holistic approach. So, and I see that division between what we can call an European, a bit maybe too much business orientated, and an Eastern or South, or I don't know, different approach that first they think about the ideas, but in the end they did money also because they wanted the Chinese to put their money. But it's interesting to see because they are different perspectives. And I found it yesterday in a very different environment, and I'm finding it today also. It's interesting. It's now maybe a break now.
Yes, we have one more.
Yes, I know your guideline is the break. Okay, so the break will be after. So now, sir, Professor Zevrajani, I suppose the techniques are fine to be here. So then we can make a break.
Everyone is with things.
I don't understand.
Farm.
Okay, okay. So I am from Pakistan, which is the part of the south, which is situated in the South Asia. Next, we have 5 provinces in the Pakistan, and I belong to the province of Sindh. You see the province in the Qaid-e-Azam's Mazar. Next, I will talk on the future of the university. I am from minority. I am the Vice Chancellor. I am a Hindu. I am not Muslim. So there is a religious liberty in our country. So that's why there is no any fundamentalism in the Pakistan. No more. Now we are free. Every religion is free. I am the Vice Chancellor over there. Okay. Next. I will talk on 4 things. Introduction of the university system, collaboration of the university of the developing countries with the developed countries, and university-industry linkage, academia-industry linkage, and an ideal university of the future in my opinion. Next. So the universities are universities are the production house for the new knowledge in all the disciplines in the world. The new knowledge then brings betterment in the human life and play a vital role in the economical development of the country, any country. In addition to the production of the knowledge, it also trains the human resource. to work in different walks of the life. Next. Now, regulation of the University of Pakistan. I will briefly give this. Pakistan higher education institutes all are regulated by the Higher Education Commission. And as we are the medical university, so additionally we are regulated by the Pakistan Medical Dental Council as well, which is the counterpart of the General Medical Council of the UK, United Kingdom. Internally, university have a senate, syndicate, academic council, department committees, different boards that take care of all the affairs of the university, all the matters. Next. What is the similarity of the medical university and medical schools of Pakistan and United Kingdom? We teach the curricular disciplines subjects are similar to across the globe, with a little bit variation in region to region because need based. And some universities have adopted modular system, some are still following subject-wise pattern. Okay, so we are still on subject-wise pattern. However, overall teaching remains same throughout the globe because there is a question of human life. GMC recognized most of the government sector university primary medical education in UK. Okay, MBBS, BDS, and most of these all are recognized by the GMC. I am also honorary FRCP by Royal College in London. Next. Research degree in Pakistan and UK. The research degree program used to be similar as the United Kingdom in the Pakistan for a long period, and most of the PhD in our country, they acquired their degree from UK, United Kingdom, in different institutes. And the fellowship of the Royal College of Colleges of the UK, they are considered a higher education degree over there, and as a clinician we appoint them directly in the academics. However, only few of our postgraduate qualification of the Pakistan are recognized in the UK. Few. For example, an anesthesia for psychiatry. So these are the few subjects they are recognized directly, and they don't have to appear in any exam. They are pediatrician. They are considered. They can be employed according to the UK Council. Thank you. Next. What are the current major challenges to the university in Pakistan? In my view, what we have observed? Short of qualified human resources in the university, particularly the PhD, in the medical university, not in the non-medical, medical, because our university is the first ever public sector university in Pakistan. It has been upgraded from college to the university 2001. Naturally, there is a difference between college and university. College is teaching the syllabus and according to curricula, but university has to create their own research and things. So we have got a few PhD. What number we wanted, it's less because less journey of the university. Then other universities are also medical university in the country, but our university is the first university. Another thing, lack of opportunity for collaborative research, because the medical university system in Pakistan, it was not previously existing. That's why the collaborative research area is still lacking. Next. Now, collaboration of the university of developing countries and developed countries, how it can be effective. Next. Universities are the competitor in business development within the same country. So their competition is you see the collaboration is a little bit tricky because someone wants a superior, other wants superior. Our university was the second ranked university in the Pakistan. So naturally the people, they were lower than us, they were of that thing opinion. So that we think that cross-border university linkages, partnership will be very effective. Effective that of the developing countries that potentially bring fruitful results. This will be more effective. And so collaboration with the cross-border universities. Next. You see that if we look in the globe, then there are few countries are developed, few countries are in the transition phase, and few countries are less developed, and few countries are least developed. So our country comes in the less developed area. Next. So most of the universities in Pakistan follow the British education system, from early education to higher education. So this is the similarity. This system allows the universities of Pakistan to have a collaboration with the United Kingdom in more of the education delivery and research areas there. The sharing of the faculty and infrastructure such as laboratories can serve the purpose such as a split and joint degree program and courses, a win-win sharing. So we can think about this. Next. Now, academia and industry linkage. In Pakistan, Higher Education Commission has identified that there should be a academia and industry linkage, otherwise the research financial support will be less likely. So, next. Now, what ministry has to do? Ministry, they are training the human resource, they are doing the research and giving the new knowledge to the market, to the industry. Then industry should identify the need of the market, what needed, and also should finance. They should do the financial support for the research to the university. If we will go round and round, then we can do a lot of things. Next. Now, model of the university industry linkage, triple helix model. This was first made in Thailand. They think because the industry and university, the faith of the industry and the university and the university's faith on the industry, if the government will involve, then definitely the economical growth of the country will grow well. And the university and industries, when they both join the hands, that's why in Pakistan, the Higher Education Commission, that is the government commission, and it's involved right now, so we can do mathematics. Next. Now, major challenge in the universities in the developing country. I'm not talking about Pakistan, overall the developing countries. What are the major challenges? First of all, the budget constraints. Lack of trust between the academia and industry, weaker research and the developmental side of the local industry, and non-practical curricula of the academia. So the curricula of the academia should be practical. Whenever we should not be just follow the things, and we should make changes in curricula time to time, need based, what the industry identify, what the people identify, then we will incorporate those changes in the curricula, then we will go in that way. Unfortunately, the local industries, for example, the medical industry I am talking, the pharmaceutical companies, they purchase the generic and patent from other countries, and they make their medicines over there, and they are not working for any research for new molecules. And university has got no such fund to have a new molecules. And local industry, why these people are doing? They want the money. And for the research, next. For the research, for example, a single drug development, at least minimum 5 years are required to discover the molecule for clinical significance. Then animal experiments, animal studies, then human studies, then phase 4 studies. So this will take every 10 to 15 years. So local companies in developing countries, local industry, they don't follow this because they want to save their time and they want to become a multi-millionaire in a few years. Next. So what is the solution for building up research and development side of the industry by involvement of the academia, number one. Inclusion of industry leaders in the academic and research board of the university. For example, I was saying the Senate, syndicate, academic council. So then if we involve, we make the member from these, who are identifying the need from the public, and then they have got their own knowledge. If we make them engage them in the university, academia, and the statutory bodies, then definitely this will help. And government support for university industry linkage, academia industry linkage is very much important. Next. Now, in model of the university of the future, in my mind, in my opinion, next. A model of the future university, we can education, then we can have a linkage, a direct linkage with the technology, that is the industry. Then we have to globalize whatever we have experienced and we have done the research and we have done the innovation. So this will make a globalization, then this will be the good for the human being, for the whole, not only that nation but throughout the world, because as being a medical profession, there is no difference between the patient of any place. So So we have to take care of any, apart from race, religion, caste, everything. Next. So education shift from centralized to more individualized. We have to shift the education from centralized to more individualized. What we have asked a question from him, this is the answer that we should ask from the students and we should go on that. Career counseling and motivational centers in each discipline of the university. People they learn that you be a doctor. But if a small child hears that you are a doctor, you will be an engineer because their parents thought. But whatever but we should do the career counseling of those students, what they want to be. If everybody will become a doctor, how they will get the job? Everybody will be engineer. How God has given these 5 fingers of different sizes. When we unite, then we can do something. But if these fingers will be of same size, then it cannot be happen. So the people should adopt the different, you see, the subjects. So career counseling and motivation is very important. And another thing, curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities is very important in every university. All the time, because as Sir was saying that there should be a good human being. If you have extracurricular activities, for example, you got a sport, you got a you see the music, you got a culture, you got some tours, and if you will do these things for the students and make a timetable in the curriculum, then this will be very good and healthy. And other thing in developing countries, what we are lacking, focus on the faculty development and strengthening. Whatever the people they have got degree from UK or any US and they are teacher over there, we have to again and again refresh their knowledge and faculty development. This is very important to have that thing. Next. Now talking about the technology and industry will play a key role in providing apps, sales and simulator to facilitate the training. Now this is the time of IT. So naturally we have got a lot of the programs we are running on this. We have got a HIMS system, we have got a distant clinic running and that on the mobile, we are running the diabetic retinopathy clinics because I am the member of the WHO EMRO region for the diabetic retinopathy and which program is funded by the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee UK. So I am already working on that. We have got a lot of experience by the mobile. We can use the cell phone in different ways. We can learn, we can facilitate, and we can have a lot of research. Industry will guide university for the market need of the knowledge. What market needs? Suppose we have produced one production, MBBS doctors, but they are not utilized in the market. But if the market needs the technology, then we should focus on that. Okay, so industry, we should revise the curricula accordingly. Whatever their feedback, industry giant will be included in policy maker teams of the university. This is very important, and this is really what we are lacking in developing world. I have seen this. Next. So globalization in the university of the future. The educational ecosystem depends upon the faculty-student exchange program, utilization of the laboratories for collaborative research, joint and split program for the degree courses in different across the countries. For example, I can say our PhD students they are studying over here for all the time, and few have been drafted first year. So what I suggest, foundation year should be established in Pakistan or any developing country. Then after 1 year, your university will be able to identify that this candidate can continue the PhD program or not, in which your extraordinary burden that will be shared. So we offer, our university offers such type of student and PhD program. Foundation year, we can help out the institutes of across the globe. Online version of master courses. Okay, this is very good course. Recently I finished the diploma in diabetes online course from UK, and I got the admission in MSc in diabetes. We are also offering in our university for our country. So this is the best to. Then induction of the faculty from developed countries as a distinct faculty. Person who is doing the PhD or post-graduation in Pakistan or any developing countries, the distant teacher should be from other areas, well experienced teacher. Definitely they will guide more and they will help. In this way, we can make a good educational ecosystem. Next. So, at this forum, I request that if we want to go for the globalization and we want to make the things from to the individuals, then we need to have established a consortium with the focus of the faculty sharing and the adjust faculty in each other's university across the border. Student exchange program in other areas where we can look at. Thank you very much.
Any questions before the break?
So, in your university, or you have any specific extension program for rural areas? How you are just extending the medical support to the rural areas with a less number of doctors? How you are managing? Or
Actually, we have got for the rural area, we focus in 3 ways. Number one is we have got a public health and community medicine department. The Postgraduate Institute of MPhil and MPH, their research title is focused on rural areas, different areas. They have got a timetable, they go over there along with our clinical doctors and they give them the support. Because they are also doing the research in rural area. I say the research is the need of the day should be done. Okay. For example, we are doing the research on arsenic, collecting the data on arsenic in the different waters. So most of the students they are in that topic. Number one. Number two, the general practitioners they are working in periphery. We are teaching them online programs, through the family health care program, online program for 1 year, and they are spending hardly 45 minutes every day, 5 days in a week. They are listening the lectures from our side. Number two. Number three, we are planning to have a campuses of our university at different areas. For example, I was thinking, you must have been watching on the television that there are many children they are dying in Tharparkar, and I also belong to the same district. So we are planning to have a LUMS campus, our university campus over there. So tertiary care facility will be there. We are planning to in this way different areas. Okay. So and other focus, whenever there is any drought or anything, we have got some emergency rapid response teams, and we move there along with the mobile you see the clinics, and we facilitate them.
Yeah, of course.
My question is, please take it in proper spirit.
Yes.
See, there are many pathies like allopathy, Unani medicines are present in the world, and what I feel is that the medical field and education should be patient-centric, human-centric more than the pathy-centric, the plant-centric. So, are you addressing or have you addressed so far the issue of tackling the Unani pathy and allopathy together to cure patients? Because Unani has a great traditional wisdom, experience wisdom. So how you blend these two pathis together?
Actually, very good and very dirty question, and really we are working on this since last 1 year. Previously we were having the Institute of Pharmacy, College of Pharmacy. Now we have changed it into the Institute of Pharmacy. We want to make 2 wings, one for allopathy, one for this alternate. Okay. So we are thinking on this. We are in process, and I do believe, as a clinician, I am physician basically. I do believe that most of the these herbal medicines, alternate medicines, they are very much helpful. And I've done the research in diabetes by offering the different you see the diets in the patients, and I've seen the results. So we are in the plan. We will do it.
Very well. There was a former dictator of Spain, maybe you have heard, General Franco, that held his Council of Ministers meetings to 12 hours without interruption, because he wanted the ministers to be so tired that decide everything he wanted. But this is not the case here, so it's time for a break. and 10 minutes break, 10 minutes break. Very well. Excellent.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So something thank you. Just you may wonder why there is a flag of Malta there. This is also a cultural the president of Malta, she came to open. We hope that this idea will be picked up, because Oxford is obviously a cultural center for it's a green button. Yes. Yes, we are hoping that this idea of cultural center will spread, and we will have cultural center of India here, cultural center of Brazil, Mexico, etc., etc. Yes, obviously Oxford is a very special place for education. You mentioned Indian leaders, and there was a number of Indian leaders who studied here. Nice. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm glad that we really, with education, come over any cultural, religious, or anything of this nature. This is the 21st century. People come from so many parts of the world, and we can share so many great ideas. And I really hope you will stay in touch. Honestly, can you please explain to us? Yeah. Sorry, somebody was. Yes, so we really overcome this for
They all are because in our constitution, I don't know
We over yes.
They have a precise amount of seats.
One for minority.
What looks like you?
The collaboration also with Latvia we're just discussing the collaboration. You mentioned you already have 1,000
that India, that everyone learned to make their own shoes and clothes.
Those kind of so be good to yourself and be good to them.
Of course, I will not hear everything. We will prepare the whole program. I will provide the pictures I made during the session. So we will keep you informed about
So nowadays we are creating a human doing. It's not in the picture.
Yes, why not? I think it would be, we can be more Of course, we will use that.
Human doing is by default. Necessity is a mother of invention.
That's right.
That's a way. It's universal. Not universal.
Would you like to?
Yes.
Your university, how is it financed?
We are fighting still more money.
Like they say, without money there is nothing. So, investment, 1 year. So thing, so I just was listening to you.
Or supporting the primary schools in Ireland or the UK for that keep language alive. Because they are hundreds of thousands of
Unique, just like in England. You see these buses there. They are
Yep. That was not
Several times.
So, shall we begin? Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you have rested a bit and be prepared for the second leg of our meeting. And with further ado, I will give the floor to Professor Leonid Linkis, Rector of the Riga Technical University from Latvia. He will present his views that I suppose will be a bit different from the previous. But let us see. Let us see. I'm very interested.
Yeah, thank you. First I shall talk, maybe my last slide will be about our vision for future university, but very crucial part or important part of our time universities and also in future will be cooperation, partnership and joint projects, not only in country but region and worldwide. I would like to just very shortly explain our ideas. First of all, cooperation in academic affairs or study process, then cooperation in scientific research and valorization, and then some maybe particularly what we are doing after signing MOUs, and one just example or lessons learned from one case study. Cooperation in academic affairs or study process. First of all, the main driver in Europe is students and staff exchange through Erasmus program, and then we are doing very much activating those invited lecturers. By law in Latvia is accepted that 5% of staff must be invited lecturers. It's funny, but this percentage that they are not telling how to count them. Therefore, for us it's easy to count all who are coming to us as invited lecturers if he or she is doing at least one or two or 1 week lectures or just one lecture. But this is the next step maybe from government side. Time to time they like to very put more restrictions to university governance. Students' mobility is very important. I can tell you my experience when 10 or basically around 14, 15 years ago, outgoing student number was 500, 600 and incoming maybe 50, 60. But now it's vice versa because outgoing are less than 100 from 15,000, but incoming are now more than 600, close to 700, because those students who are studying for full-time for degree from second course, they are mostly involved in companies. We have no unemployment in Riga for engineers and technicians, and therefore it's very hard to them to go abroad. But exchange of good practice, this is double degree programs in study process. Now it's very fashionable to create double degree or joint degree programs and thesis, an internship abroad. Financial support for this also is coming from Erasmus program for European programs, and the joint summer schools are very important. Now we have very successful joint summer schools. For example, with Australian students, they are coming their summer to our summer, or vice versa, their summer to our winter, and spend a couple weeks. And this summer will be 10 summer schools in Riga Technical University. We have campus on beach area, Riga Bay too. Well, then, next one. Yeah, number of foreign students, you saw already the increasing number. And also many students from France. It's French, from private universities. They are sending a whole group of students to other universities for one semester. But they are paying tuition fees. Now some figures about MOUs we have is almost 300 universities, Erasmus Plus agreements with European Union universities 274, and Erasmus Plus agreements with non-European universities 99. Now some structure or what we are doing in cooperation in scientific research and valorization. Interdisciplinary international cooperation projects, not only under Horizon 2020, but previous ones too, and Nordic Council projects and special country-to-country funding projects. Cooperation with industrial associations, cooperation with municipalities in Latvia, technology park network, we have technology park and several business incubators, design factory network. I showed you our design factories and picture about that, business incubator network. Of course, EU projects different, not only research projects, but extra different, including also campus projects. This is more study process improvement area. Joint publications, university, industry, or university, I mean university, Latvia abroad, the industry, those are most valuable. Product development projects, research networks, and now the last one is in Latvia we started from this year those doctoral studies supported from industry. This of course is very usually in Germany the companies are paying 150,000 euros for yearly to university or industrial PhD preparation, but now from this year it's going on in Latvia. Well, research projects, I told you, it's area how to get money from this, of course on competition basis. Horizon 2020 is very hard, only less than 10% of proposals are getting funded, but we have good cooperation agreement with CERN. Several doctoral students are working here with ESA. We have more than 20 years experience to work with them. And now we are a member of Nortec and also possibility Nordic Council money to get for our research. Here are some networks where we are participating, but about CERN, first our PhD in particle physics and high energy physics will get free in a couple of weeks. Now this is what we are doing after signing MOU with some universities and companies. Internal communication and external communication. Internally, we are establishing communication between academic units, then supervision supported by administrative units too. We are paying our administration people to help academia to do some further steps when after the rector or vice rectors or sign MOUs with other universities. External communication, B2C or B2B, it's prospective foreign students are coming to us as partner universities, rankings agencies. This is what we are doing. And now one case study, cooperation from zero or scratch, Riga Technical University with University of Bergamo in Italy, how we started this cooperation. Initially contacts were done, our students tried to go there, start signing Erasmus Plus agreement, then was exchange with students, continuous communication on execution of signed agreement, then exchange students and visits. Our students spent some time in Bergamo, then in Italy, 3 Bergamo students implementing Erasmus Plus spent time in Riga, representative of University of Bergamo visits RTU. Then next step was so-called test project. Students participating in the summer school, woodcraft and art. Actually, this is under Faculty of Architecture. They are doing this and enjoyed summer school, Non-Linear Life, edition 2, and then joined summer school Sustainable Construction. Then we are naming the Deeper Cooperation Meeting of Rectors. I was visiting Bergamo in March this year, setting up a double degree master program and joint research project. This is just about this cooperation with one Italian university, and some of our students spent almost a year or more, and now they are freely speaking Italian. And this also is culture exchange, is giving good benefit and extra bonuses to this cooperation. And now about my university, how I can see our development. From 1862, I say, till 1980, of course 1980 was some time, but before was 2 world wars, but nevertheless it was traditional technical university, started like Polytechnical Institute and then became a good also technical university in Soviet times in that era. After 80, it was obliged to create innovation flow or new product flow to industry, and then we started like so-called 3G universities, Generation University, and I think it's finished in 2015 or maybe a little bit earlier when this total digitalization is taking part, and now we try to digitalize everything, and not everything. Of course, we cannot digitalize humans, but we can try to do everything digitally in administration, and this is very good support also for study process. At this moment, we are thinking that we are 4G university. After those 3 cornerstones, we have this 4th one. And future, in my opinion, future is 5G university. It's coming next year, and 5th cornerstone is smart change management. Management or change is all the time. We are changing something in universities because it's very complicated structure, but the main thing is to do it with some background, with knowledge, and the name of this is smart, or not to be like jumping from one row to other one over the road, but to do like smart decisions. And, this is what I think what we can do, and therefore also university management, not only rectors or vice rectors, but deans and department heads must be trained to manage universities and units, and to create some environment based on smart changes, because
Any questions, gentlemen and ladies? Well, I have one question more technical and another maybe more broad. You have mentioned about total digitalization. It includes also evaluation, exams, tests, those sort of things, or they are done in paper or only now in computer?
Yeah, of course we got to accomplish more extensions, but we have some tools like to check all bachelor theses, master theses against plagiarism.
Yes.
Plagiarism.
Yes.
Plagiarism.
Yeah, plagiarism. This is one thing, but of course, I remember Soviet times, there was technical tools how to, that everybody was like driver's license to get point some crosses or some areas and then put in machine and you got 5, you 6, or
Yes.
7 and you have through. But I don't think that this will be main thing, checking possibility digitalization of that, because to speak with student or speaking with student also is necessary this discussion or debate with him or her, because only get degrees through internet in engineering, it is not only my opinion, it is impossible. Of course, you can extra get knowledge how some machine is working, very, very expensive, and you cannot create it in lab, and everything is possible to see. But to get skills for electrician or mechanical engineer or civil engineer, it's necessary to understand. Of course, robots now are building houses, right? And also, some people are telling the future we don't need more medical doctors or lawyers, all can do robots. Because why not? It's artificial intelligence is coming. But I don't think so. And not only I don't think so, but for example, in Nordic Council, all people so-called high-wage economy are telling that attention for students is more come back to campus and to be together in environment and talk to each other, not only talk to your iPhone and sit at the table, but not to look at you, but only iPhone. This is already past. Now people like to communicate, and this is very helpful to create, I think, also this human being who will be good human being, so living better world.
Okay, right now we skip to the Skype, no? Okay. Yes. Yes. Let us see. Well, now we have the first distant participant from India also, Dr. Srimati Kazan, founder and CEO of Space Kids India. This is the time of the video. Okay, so we now put the video, and then Skype will appear. Very well. So let's look at the TV.
happy to be here. Thank you very much for watching our journey. I hope I'm audible to everybody.
Yes, you are. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. And I should introduce my Vice President, Mr. Abdul Basit, who is there amidst you all. And I'm missing the presentation. I'm talking to you live from Chennai, India, and from mission control of our organization.
Very well.
I'm so happy to share that I've got a fellow Indian who spoke about agriculture, the backbone of India, and now I'm going to be talking about space technology, another huge thing about India. Having launched the C-46 today, we're so happy we are sitting on that day and we're having this discussion. Of course, I'm a little upset that I'm not able to be there live, present with you all. But I'm so glad, thanks to Ellen Clark and Edith Tisga for giving me this opportunity and getting me live here. Thank you girls, you've been wonderful.
Very well. Namaste, and we are going to hear you now. Very attentive.
Okay, so I'd like to share a little bit of our journey. A small organization called Space Kids India started off in the year 2012. And this was born to bridge the gap of the scientific community in India. And why Space Kids India? The space, we have three kinds of spaces, the most important for mankind. One is a platform, and that's where you got to see our kids performing at the London Olympics. You know, we promote the Indian rich art and culture across the globe, and I'm so happy that we were given an opportunity to perform at the London Olympics. So that's creating a platform. And the other space, the most important space for a mankind, is the inner space that I believe in. So if you are very strong in your inner strength, if you have the zeal and confidence in doing anything, and your conscience is clear, I think universe conspires. So that way, I believe in creating that as young as 4 years old kids. If we are able to inculcate that kind of a value and strength, that kind of an age, I think when they come to university, they're up. And people say a man's life starts at 40. And yes, I do believe that it starts at 40, but it is the time to give back to the society is what I believe that a man should be doing from 40. So anything below 0 to 40, it's the time to rock. It's his time where he kind of acquires knowledge, where he's able to perform, where he's able to give everything possible within the first 40 years of his life. And the giving back starts at the rest of the 40. Well, the other space is the space above us. And that's where, you know, the Indians are pretty strong. I'm very, very happy to share that with you all. And I'm sure everybody knows that. And we've landed on the moon, and we're working on the moon missions, and we're working on the Mars missions. And what we thought was, why do a post-graduation or a PhD and then get into the space technology? Why not have children as young as 4 years, train them if they are naturally interested in space? Give them that exposure, give them that experience, give them that platform, mentor them, and you got to see the 9 balloon. So they have done this. And apart from the balloon launches, the NSLV, that's called the Near Space Launch Vehicle, and apart from that, we have launched 2 satellites in suborbital missions. And one was at NASA.
NASA was highly impressed with our satellite because that was proclaimed to be the lightest and first ever 3D printed satellite. Well, of course, though it went on only on a suborbital mission, still the idea was extremely applauded across the globe because it was done by students and the ages were only 16 until 21. And moving further, after our 2 suborbital missions, we have gone forward to launch our first ever orbital launch on 24 January 2019. This is the first ever time a student team has gone into launching the orbital satellite in the PS. That is the 4th stage of a rocket. So hats off to our Indian Space Research Organization who gave us this huge opportunity to experiment our satellite in the 4th stage, which went to the polar region that was about 470 kilometers. And this was something phenomenal, I should say. As students, I think it's an amazing experience. So having said all this, I mean, apart from science and technology, if I'm talking about the inner strength and zeal that we are trying to give to the kids, we are coming up with a portal which speaks about the ancient success stories or ancient historic stories about a lot of people, a lot of normal living people across the globe. And we are collecting such stories, and this is predominantly to give back to the society and to give back to the children who are craving to listen to their grandmothers and grandfathers, who, because we become nuclear families, and with all that father, mother, children concept, and there is nobody to really give them that care and concern. So that's where we're coming up with that book we call My Grandma Tales. Apart from that, creating entrepreneurs, because scientist community, people feel that if you're going to be a scientist, then you don't earn money. That's a whole lot of myth that's been there across the world, I should say, predominantly in India. You have classes, you have secluded rooms, you don't come out of your research, you don't lead a normal life, and you don't, that's what we wanted to break. And we want to see creating scientists as young children. And apart from research, we wanted to create them as entrepreneurs. So what they do is speak to the world and they market it to the world, and that's how they become entrepreneurs. And that's where we are coming up with the most economical computer in the world, which is going to be sold for £3. So catch you guys. Probably you will look at our site and get more excited after about a couple of months that we're going to be using that. And saying all this, the complete mission and vision of Space Kids India, of course, it's not a university, it's an organization. And this organization is working towards creating peace soldiers across the globe. The research is going to be more focused on peace. Of course, making satellites and everything is the forte, but we want to do it on a collaborative mission that will include students across the globe, not only Indian students. No caste, no race, no language, no country barrier. We want to break all the barriers, places like no barrier, and that way we wanted to build a community, a world, a borderless world, and therein we can bring more peace to the community with each generation. And that's where Space Kids India is working towards and heading towards. So this is a small journey of ours. I'm thankful once again to us, the debate, for giving us this opportunity to be here and talking about our journey. And once once again, a huge thanks to Ellen and Anastasia, and of course, our one president, Mr. Abdul Basit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have any question before we switch? All right. So
Everyone is impressed.
everyone is
impressed.
So how many colleges or universities are willing to tie up with us? That's our predominant question. Please. Yes, sir?
Okay, we have gone far abroad. We tied up with a couple of schools in Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Dubai, and Australia. And we will create this scientific temper and awareness about the rural community of any country, where people think space is a niche market, and if you are affordable, only then you can work on space. No. In fact, our satellites cost us only about Indian rupees, if I have to tell you, it's about 5 lakh rupees. And we wanted to make economical satellites and rockets as possible. So collaboration brings down the cost. It enhances the capacity of thinking and reasoning, and I think we will do wonders. So we're most open for collaborations, and that's why we are here today.
And Srimati Ji, I can see a lot of collaborations right here in our room at this point of time, and there is going to be a lot of chancellors who would be very interested to share their cards across. And I believe one of our principal of one of the colleges from Pune, who wants to ask you a question. I believe that you are hot enough to take the question from him.
First of all, hi. First of all, let me congratulate you for this absolutely inspiring speech. It's wonderful. And I would like to ask the opportunity for the collaborations for my college students so far as space architecture is considered, space colonies, space architecture. We are specialized in that, so we can work together. And I will have the details from him.
Brilliant, thank you. We are so happy, so happy.
Okay, so namaste, and we'll see. Thank you for your presentation. Okay, so what's that? Right, very well. Now let's finally go into Africa, to Cape Verde, an island in Africa, and we'll have Professora Judith do Nascimento, that is director of the Cape Verde University. Temos um film. We have a film, okay. Okay, so first we look at the trailer, and then we make a call.
University of Cape Verde, abbreviated UNICV, was founded on November 20, 2006, and it aims at creating, disseminating, and promoting a culture of science and technology, combining studies and history, in order to promote human development as a strategic factor in the country's sustainable development strategy. UNICV has 4 faculties and 2 schools, divided into 3 campuses, with the main office in Tri-City, where the rectorate is located. There is 1 campus on the island of South City and 1 in Asomara City on the island of Santiago. The University of Cape Verde has more than 42% of the total number of students that are at the higher education in Cape Verde. We offer more than 40 degrees, 4 doctoral programs, more than 15 masters, and several vocational courses. As a public higher education institution, we develop a number of activities related to instruction, research, and extension. Our vision is to use education and pursue knowledge as a source of national identity and a factor of social transformation. UNICV's
Our major goals are excellence in teaching, research, and university extension, supported by a management approach that is based on strategic planning and the principle of pedagogical, scientific, and financial sustainability. The internationalization of the University of Cabo Verde is effective. The cooperation is enhanced. We receive students and faculty members from other universities that are our partners. Students and professors work on joint projects. We have established collaborative teaching and research partnerships with more than 260 institutions inside and outside campus. In these partnerships, research, knowledge, and technology are transferred. In order to strengthen internationalization by promoting multilingualism, the University of Cabo Verde has created institutes for language, offering opportunities for members of its academic community to improve their profile and increase their international relevance. With a strong commitment to continue development, we have combined the creation of laboratories, bibliographic resources, information, and communication needed to ensure that students develop their academic, social, and cultural potential to the fullest. UNICEF has trained several professionals that are in leadership positions. As such, all efforts are made so that the University of Cabo Verde takes a prominent position in the national and international stage, and we are currently among the 200 best African universities.
Universidade Pública de Cabo Verde é muito bem vista lá fora. Os parceiros procuram-nos, os parceiros têm interesse em desenvolver relações de cooperação e parceria com a Universidade de Cabo Verde no caminho da formação, da extensão universitária e da investigação e procuram-nos precisamente por reconhecer esse potencial que nós temos.
The members of UNICEF feel, create, inspire, and build together a great projection. And this strength to achieve a national and international dimension. And the story remains in the trajectory of each one of us. We will soon move to the new campus, which is bigger, and more students will have the opportunity to take classes and will be able to respond to the challenges of its expansion, modernization, and international projection. UNICEF is undoubtedly the biggest and best university in Cabo Verde.
Which language they are speaking?
Portuguese. Portuguese. It's a former Portuguese colony in Africa.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Good morning.
Bom dia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Professora Judite Medina do Nascimento, Director of the University of Cape Verde, ou Cabo Verde. So, we are, não sei se quer falar em português ou se fala inglês diretamente à nossa audiência. Pode ser em inglês, very well. So, welcome here to Oxford. We are very glad in having you in our meeting. We have here representatives of several universities from India, Pakistan, Latvia, and in the afternoon from other countries. And the floor is yours to present your paper, please. Pode
Thank you very much.
Pode começar a falar quando quiser.
Muito obrigada. Thank you very much. Thank you for the display of our institutional video. I would like to start to warmly greeting all of you, the president and all of the colleagues from different countries.
compensate the organization to the opportunity to participate in this important debate. I request your attention for the second slide, category reasons. My contribution of the debate will focus on these three main issues, as you can see in the slide. First one, what is the relevance of higher education for the sustainable development of the countries? Among the discourses and the actual relevance of the universities, there are some paradoxes. Higher education is a worldwide theme of the agenda in political speeches and in social media. However, surprisingly, their reinforcement and relevance are not discussed, as one might expect. Unfortunately, dear colleagues, the trend that has prevailed and is gradually growing is to deny the relevance of higher education, especially university. We see a number of risks to the maintenance of humanity's great achievement, particularly in regards to the safeguarding of humanitarian rights, values, and principles. Societies and universities should react by reflecting and taking firm position to contradict this trend. Dear colleagues, in the picture 1 of slide 4, I summarize my perspective on the relevance of higher education. We are still convinced that scientific knowledge must continue to be the basis of all decisions that determine the fate of the world's population and the sustainability of development and the environment on our planet. The relevance of higher education is indisputable. It is proven that the societies that invest on education are the most evolved, stable, and represent the nations where the happiness index is the highest. Happiness is what human beings desire the most. We are conscious that the notion of happiness is relative and varies from person to person, depending on the factors that each considers as relevant to their well-being and comfort. But, dear colleagues, we are sure that the happiness of an individual depends on his personal and professional well-being. The financial stability of the individual is proportionally correlated with his professional occupation, which in turn correlates directly with his academic background. So, dear colleagues, we logically conclude that higher education is a sure way to achieve happiness and sustainable development. My second question, will current university models continue to be worthwhile to new challenges and new trends? The analysis concerning the happiness of the current models we made according to 3 parameters. Dear colleagues, the organization model. In our point of view, the organization model is not an important factor in the variation of the quality of and relevance of university teaching because it's inert. But our experience shows us that the true challenge of universities is in maintaining and increasing the pertinence of their performance. It focuses on the following factors. 1, the autonomy of institutions. 2, the model of financing. 3, the strategy for scientific, pedagogical, and administrative management. About the autonomy of universities, and their relationship with the state, in my opinion, if the university's mission is to form in an unbiased, objective, and rigorous way scientific and technological competent staff to face successfully and excellently the challenges of society, it cannot be subjugated to interests of any orbit, except those strictly ethical, pedagogical, scientific, and technological. Dear colleagues, in the picture 2 of slide 6, I summarize my perspective on the basic model of university is adapted to different realities. The business and financing model. Public universities must be institutions whose sustainability is assumed to be a state matter and must be supported by a social and national commitment and should not be penalized by political, religious, or ideological dynamics. It must be considered alongside national right, defense, and security as a state matter and the object of a national pact for its preservation and perpetuity. We believe that equilibrium will only be achieved if the decision on the model is equated with objectivity, exception, and coherence, having as goals the sustainability of the system in an integrated and integral way. There are several actors in the university's funding system. If each of the actors fulfills its role fully, the universities will have ensured the conditions for a small cooperation and will be able to fully comply with its mission. Dear colleagues, my last contribution is about the following question. Do universities respond adequately to the current challenges of the age of artificial intelligence? The answer of this question will be based on three axes. First, the support of the entity that establishes the universities is very, very, very important. These entities must assume their responsibility. Second, it is also important to rethink the strategic vision and the approach of scientific, pedagogical, and administrative management. We are living the age of the Internet of Things and computing of the clouds, and we are moving into the age of the artificial intelligence. So the universities need to adapt their strategies to remain relevant. They need to rethink the role of the teacher, review pedagogical models, rethink the competencies and output profiles of their courses. I summarize this perspective on the picture 3 of slide 8. We recognize that it is urgent to reinvent pedagogical models that redefine the teaching-learning process. At this stage, resources for distance learning is strained and the reinforcement and the international cooperation can be an important way for success and a good strategy to increase the relevance of university education. Dear colleagues, it was a pleasure to listen to the different colleagues via live stream and to understand different opinions. Thank you very much for your attention. I am available for any kind of question you have. Thank you very much.
Question time. Who has the first question? About happiness. You want a good human being? Director of University of Cape Verde want happiness. So no questions about that.
There is a curriculum as called as happiness curriculum introduced by the Delhi government by the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. And this curriculum was yes. What is your idea on that in terms of happiness curriculum? Has it been? Do you think it should be taken from a very primary age, or do you think the education models should be set up at a certain age limit? Because I think education, in terms of education, it starts from a very young age. So what's your opinion on that, madam?
Hello?
Hello?
I don't understand the question.
Question, can you...
Shall I repeat it?
Repeat, but in a phrase. What?
So there is a curriculum. There is a curriculum similar to your proposition, which was introduced in India, Delhi, by the Chief Minister and Education Minister Manish Sisodia, and it's called Happiness Curriculum. And whatever you have said, does it relate to your idea of curriculum? Because our curriculum in India, it started at a very, very primary age of 4. So does your curriculum is very similar and it starts at very young age, or is it to a certain level?
Yes, in this moment we must, yes, thank you very much. We must rethink our curriculum to the new profession that will be relevant in the age of artificial intelligence. In this moment, we try to do the review of all curriculum, namely in the topic of technology and in the topic of sociology, to be more relevant for the challenges and new challenges in this age. So solidarity, peace, and morality, professional ethics is the terms that we are very, very concerned, because we think that in the age of artificial intelligence, we need to start concerned about the technology, the development of the technology, but we need to be concerned to the social questions, to the humanitarian right, to the human being, is the question that will be very, very important for the peace and for the sustainable development of the planet.
Thank you very much. You have been very clear and very
Thank you,
interesting.
friend.
Muito obrigado e bom dia.
Eu espero que tenha sido pertinente a explicação e muito obrigada. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
So, and now everything is done concerning your intervention. There is time for the Oscars. So we'll finish here our meeting. I thank you for your attention and mostly for your interaction. Your interaction was a meaningful aspect of this morning, and it was very interesting to see everyone debating and discussing with very diverse perspectives and creating, at least in myself, a new idea about the future of the university that I see that is more a moral idea than a technical idea, but as the rector has mentioned, how we can fulfill that aim of having a moral idea of university with money. It's the question that this approach raises, but it's an important approach when some kind of idea of university have reached a dead end. And to overcome such dead end, it's important to think what we can give to students more than a degree in something. And perhaps your contributions were very interesting in establishing new aims, kind of what the old Greeks called the kalos kagatos, meaning that they want to create the ideal citizen for the polis. You are, as the Greeks have made, you are not following the Greeks because you have your own civilization, but you are again thinking as Aristotle and the others that the important thing of education was not to create a professional, but the kalos kagatos, or the good human being. And that was an interesting, very, very engaging, challenging that you put here. Concerning Europe, the most important thing is how to finance the idea and to get jobs, because students, when they finished universities, in the past they went to get jobs, to marry, or to have some family and a house, and now they finish the university and they return to parents' house, and that is not what they want. So those are problems, but this discussion was very good, but I'm going to shut up and pass to the ladies from Hollywood to present the Oscars and the awards, several certificates. So, it's you, not a lady from Hollywood, but a man
we
from...
will work together.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and the last applause for your intervention, and now let's go to the next part.
Let's come to the chair.
The boys from Hollywood, okay.
So well, first of all, congratulations everyone for taking part in the Oxford debate. Really insightful information that we gathered from all of you from different countries. We are going to continue with this program with Professor Rui Verda heading this project into the future. So for something for you to take with you as a momentum of today, we've separated certificates into two groups. First is for those who have taken part in debates, and other for the people who participated. So we have expert certificates and we have certificates of attendance. I'll start with the certificates of expert for the experts. First certificate we will present to Dr. Kumarapan, Chancellor of Gandhigram Rural Institute. Can I invite him, please?
Congratulations. It's not for the award, but for your speech.
Thank you so much.
Okay? Okay, thank you.
Next, can I ask Dr. Kashyap, the principal of MKSSS, the College of Architecture for Women in India.
Okay. Thank you.
And Dr. Professor Diha Ram Devrajani, the Vice Chancellor of ICAT, University of Medical and Health Sciences.
Thank you.
This is from me.
Oh, very good, very good.
Oh, for me.
It's a photo.
Now can I invite Dr. Kisan, the founder and CEO of Space Kids India, but she's not with us. She was with us on Skype, so we have her representative, Mr. Abdul Basit, to receive the certificate.
You have to take it? Okay. Thank you. Congratulations.
And last but not least, can I invite Professor Leonidas Libiskis, Director of Riga Technical University from Latvia. And now we're coming to next set of certificates of attendance. Can I ask Dr. Manzoor Saeed, the Director of Likud University, please? And Professor Ikram Huyan, the Dean of Likud University. Mr. Artur Zep, the Vice Rector of Riga Technical University, Latvia. So as mentioned earlier, we decided to separate the award ceremony into two parts. One is certificates, and now we're coming to the awards of the Academic Union. As you may be aware, our motto is to create the world of successful people. For this reason, the Academic Union has established a number of award programs to recognize scientists and researchers for their contribution to the intellectual development of the modern world, intercultural communication, and partnership, promoting establishment of social progress and humanization of society. The criteria for these awards were relevance of scientific research for the development of civil society, democratic foundations of governance, economic efficiency, as well as personal contribution to development of national science. On behalf of the Academic Union, it is our honor to present the following candidates with awards. Can I ask Dr. Kumarapan, Chancellor of Rural Institute from India, to receive the Name in Science award.
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's. Okay.
The next award goes to Dr. Kisan, founder and CEO of Space Kids India, and I believe again the representative, Mr. Abdul Basit, will come to collect the award on her behalf.
First, Good.
Thank you.
Last but not least, can I invite Professor Leonidas Libiskis, Director of Riga Technical University. As mentioned at the very beginning by Professor Ulverd, we have our association includes over 300 universities, and whenever Dr. Verd asks me, so how many universities do we actually have as members of the association, I can never be quite accurate, because today we have our honor to welcome 5 new universities, which is great. We would like to welcome new members of the Academic Union. Can I please ask again Dr. Kashyap, the principal of MKSSS, the College for Architecture for Women. Receive your diploma and your personal seal of the union.
Nice card.
And the card. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Next, Dr. Dika Devrajani, Vice Chancellor of Likat University of Medical and Health Sciences from Pakistan. Welcome to the Academic Union.
Hello. Okay.
Thank you very much.
What? Ah, yes, sure.
Can I invite all award winners to come for group photographs, please? This, yes, everyone.
Maybe our laureates can put on also the ribbons.
Yeah.
It would be great for a picture.
What?
The ribbons. It would
Ah,
be
the
great
ribbon.
for a picture, I suppose.
Could be
There.
Please.
All there.
Why don't you take diplomas? Would that be?
Okay.
Why not? Yes. Anastasia, can you just the
One
diplomas?
with
The
diplomas.
Bring diplomas.
Yeah. That one then. Okay. Okay. That's correct.
Okay.
That's great.
So we have a planned Oxford tour.
Yes, so just in time.
Just in time.
Perfect time. Not express.
For those of you who wishes to go on the tour, it will start in about 10 minutes. If you wish to have a cup of coffee or tea, you're very welcome.
I can take a picture.
I enjoyed the presentation, very enthusiastic. Yeah. What you do, I watched the video with the space of the
Maybe I
kids
will
to
finish that. I'm lucky enough.
That's my cards.
remember
This is my mobile. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Keep in touch. I want to see how things develop.
distributed.
Also, we can go by ourselves.
Yes, if you don't
Now you will enjoy it as a tour, and we will meet at Cosmo Restaurant.
You will, this will remind you one key thing. You will drive your car.
Oh, great.
This is for you.
This is my office number.
Yes, please. Of course. But will you be able to join us? But if it can be complicated,
ये वीडियो खबर तेरे वीडियो पे नहीं है ये भी वीडियो को ना ईमेल मोकले
So I could come here.
I called you, and that's all. That's what I
Wonderful meeting you. Thank you. Thanks for informing on this tolerance of Pakistan.
yeah.
Very happy.